Today on Around Kansas, Deb is blessed by the mess and enjoying all associated this holiday season. Next up in our wildlife, did you ever wonder how the reindeer became a Christmas icon? Deb shares her thoughts. On the front porch, the fancy cowgirl Courtney Dehoff joins us, and Ron Wilson is sharing his poem Fly Right, and we end with our friend Michelle Martin and Christmas traditions of the past.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Good morning. I've got my living room back for a little while. The kids and their mom had some errands to run. But you can see the evidence of kids around me. And, whenever I am tempted to scream about the mess, I remember that I am really blessed by the mess. And I hope you can hang on to that idea too through the holidays. I know that many of you have finished your Christmas shopping, and some of you, probably like myself, have looked at your list and thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot. What am I going to get at this late moment? Well, I'll tell you what, I am a big believer in the gift of experience. So find a way to give experiences. Trips may not be quite the thing today, but in a few months they will be. And so, give a couple of tickets, on Amtrak or on a plane, or just, a gift certificate for a hotel down the line. You can get some good deals right now. But the other thing that I'm a big believer in is giving memberships. And you can give memberships to the zoo. And what a fantastic family gift. If you've got a whole family to buy for, then give them the gift of the zoo membership that they can use throughout the year. They can take all the kids, and it's not broken, it's not misplaced, it's not forgotten, the day after Christmas. Another thing is, of course, one of my personal favorites, memberships into historical societies. So we have the Kansas State Historical Society, and I used to be president of the Shawnee County Historical Society, so that's got a special place in my heart. And of course, the Guardians of the Fort Wallace Museum, which is another one that's got a special place in my heart. The Friends of Fort Hays, there are just so many of these groups throughout the state that do very good work and have very small budgets, and membership means a lot. Now that we're moving into 2021 with high hopes of a better year, of course, that is the bicentennial of the Santa Fe Trail. So a membership into the Santa Fe Trail organization, the Santa Fe Trail Association, which has a fantastic website. If you go to santafetrail.org, you can find how you join the organization, and you can find the different chapters along the way that you might want to belong to as well. There are chapters in every state that the trail passes through, all 5 states, and so lots of cool stuff happening there. Something else I want to remind you of, Around Kansas has a YouTube channel. Farming Unlimited has its own YouTube channel, and you can watch our videos there after they air on terrestrial TV, and watch them anytime, and please share with your friends. And our friends at the Lone Jack Historical Society over in Lone Jack, Missouri, have started their own YouTube channel. So I would encourage you to go over there and visit and support them in their efforts to keep the museum going through trying times, and share some incredible history in which Kansas played a huge role. And they're just doing a fantastic job. We shared one of the segments, I think last week or the week before, with Greg Higginbotham doing the Ghost of Lone Jack. And they have several other segments that they've done, and they are just spectacular. So please share the love. All right, got a great show for you this morning. Stay with us.
In 1821, a trade route was opened from Missouri in the United States across prairies and mountains to Mexico. In 2021, we will mark 200 years of epic conflicts and grand adventures, larger-than-life personalities, and sweeping landscapes. Join us on an historic journey. The Santa Fe Trail lives on.
Find us on social media or santafetrail.org.
The Territorial Capitol Museum in Lecompton has selected 50 of its most beautiful and most historic trees for display this year, making it possible for you to celebrate the season and maintain your social distancing. Visit all of our attractions when you come to Lecompton. Visit both museums and our local shops and restaurants. And Merry Christmas from everyone here.
This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
I thought it very appropriate this week to share the wildlife segment on reindeer. And this is one that the kids, I think, will get a kick out of, especially some of the older kids like myself. And I want to take this moment, too, to give a shout out to Mittens Travel Plaza, the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Plaza, who sponsors this segment. And when you stop in Mittens on your travels, be sure to tell them that you heard about them on Around Kansas. They're a wonderful group of folks and a huge part of our community here in Oakley. So let them know you appreciate their sponsoring this segment every week. And in the meantime, let's take a look at the storied reindeer.
Reindeer are domesticated caribou, hence the rein part of the name, as in the reins that hitch the deer to the sled, or sleigh in the case of Santa. Caribou live near the North Pole in Siberia, Europe, and North America. For humans in that part of the world, the available caribou became the most natural choice to harness for duties around the homestead. Scientists believe that the difference in the wild and domesticated animals, caribou tend to be larger and faster, are due in fact to the difference in living in the wild and living and working on farms. The first reference to Santa's sleigh being pulled by a reindeer appears in Old Santa Claus with much delight, a poem published in a children's book in 1821, though the name of the author has been lost to time. It was Clement Seymour's A Visit from St. Nicholas a couple of years later that cemented the image of the flying reindeer in the public's imagination. Who can't recite the words from that epic story? More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Dunder and Blixen. Yes, Dunder and Blixen, the Dutch words for thunder and lightning, which gradually became Donder and Blitzen in German and eventually Donner and Blitzen, according to historian Edmund Clarence. Rudolph came along in 1939, a verse written by Robert May as a promotion for Montgomery Ward department stores. When Gene Autry recorded the song during the 1949 Christmas season, the red-nosed reindeer became a permanent fixture on Santa's team. Apparently, the caribou's nose does turn red in certain conditions, like when pulling Santa's sleigh, perhaps?
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
This segment brought to you by Bob Schwartz Financial. Values, commitment, transparency.
E.G. Taves joining you on the program today. Our guest is Courtney Dehoff. She's been an advocate for ag for a long time and considers herself a cowgirl. She also has made a name for herself in the media production area, and we were talking about breaking in to TV. Now, I do want to step back just a little and talk about 2016. You were a top 10 finalist when Kelly did the live co-host search. Tell me about that experience.
So this was during one of my several periods of unemployment in the TV industry. I obviously am always working, but, I didn't have a full-time TV job at the time. And I was sort of stuck. I didn't know when the next job opportunity was going to come. And my mom has always been a big fan of. She watched it back when it was Kathy Lee and Regis, and that, Kelly. It was Kelly and Michael. And then Michael sort of made his exit, so Kelly didn't have a co-host. So behind the scenes, obviously they were scrambling, I'm sure, and in the process of eventually getting Ryan Seacrest in there. But they had a little contest, and you could enter to win this contest to be her co-host for the day. And it was actually my mom who was like, "Oh, I saw this on Kelly Ripa. You should enter." And it sort of ticked me off. And I remember I was sort of mean to my mom. I said, "Really, Mom? This is serious. I'm trying to find a job. This is stupid. 10 million people are going to submit to do this. This is dumb." My mom was like, "All right." And I remember as she walked away, she said, "I don't know what else you've got going on." Well, she was sort of right.
Leave it to your mother. Leave it to your mother to
right? To just kick you right in the gut. Yeah. I was like, ugh, okay, Mom. So then I'm even more mad at her because I know she's right. And I remember I was saddling a horse. I was getting ready to go work barrel horses. And so I was riding and, doing my thinking. And riding a horse is usually where all my best thinking takes place. And I remember thinking, this is so stupid, but I guess I could enter it. And then I remember thinking, well, what makes me different? There's literally nothing that makes me cool or different than the 10 million other stupid people who are going to enter this dumb contest. I was just mad at the whole thing. I was just mad at life. And I sort of remember I had this moment, I looked down and I'm, looking down at the head of my horse. And I thought, oh, well, I guess this is a little unique. Not everybody has a horse or a cow or, okay. So it was as I was riding, I sort of got this idea. I thought, all right, if I'm going to do this, I have to do something that makes me different. So I submitted my first audition tape along with, 25,000 other people. And it was sort of just it was a TV host stuck on the farm. And the whole skit was, I'm a TV host who's stuck on the farm. And I wore a white pantsuit, full white, something you might wear on TV. And the whole stick was, I'm a TV host who literally is can't get off the farm. And I rode a horse in my white pantsuit. I led a cow, a show heifer in my white pantsuit, a heifer that we had not halted broke yet. So it was a little ranchy. And I just sort of did this bit and submitted it and didn't really think much about it. And then they were like, congratulations, you made it to the next round. So then it got serious. I was like, okay, this is going to be my big break. This is going to be my big moment. They're probably going to just want to hire me to be your full-time host. This is it. So then it got really serious. And my poor mom, I made her video, the next one, and I yelled at her the whole time, to make sure the angles were right and the audio was perfect. And God bless my mom. And we did the next one, and I made it all the way to the final 10. And they announced that they were going to announce the top 5 live on the show. So we all, I'm at my house, my mom's at her house, and we're watching, and we're just praying because this is it. Because the top 5 get to go to New York to be on the show to actually compete to be the host. And they announced the top 5, and I wasn't one of them. And I remember I just burst into tears because I thought that was it. That was my shot. That was my big break, and I missed it. Well, looking back, it was such an incredible opportunity, and I did eventually, shortly after that, I got my job in Dallas, and it definitely helped to have that on my resume. Mm-hmm. But it was such a pivotal moment for me because that was the moment that I realized, hey, the fact that I'm a cowgirl, this is pretty cool, and why am I not marketing this? Why am I not talking about this? Because I really didn't tell people where I'd come from or how I grew up. And I just didn't think they would take me seriously in New York and in LA if they knew I was just a little farm girl from Kansas. But in my naivety, I wasn't realizing that actually was exactly what was going to make them notice me. So it was, I credit that Live with Kelly co-host contest for really opening my eyes to what makes me unique.
I'm Bob Swartz, and I've devoted the last 43 years to helping Kansans reach their retirement goals and to protect the family farm. At Bob Swartz Financial, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always dreamed of. Our team of professionals can help you create an efficient strategy using a variety of investment vehicles to help you address your financial needs and your concerns. Bob Swartz Financial values commitment and transparency.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
My wife and family and I live on the Lazy T Ranch near Manhattan, Kansas. We run cattle and horses and some other animals. If you have livestock in the hot summer heat, then you're going to have flies, and we contend with flies. This poem I wrote is called Fly Right. 3 cowboys from different places came into a Texas saloon for a drink to relieve their hot afternoon. The flies were buzzing from near and from far as the 3 cowboys took their place at the bar. Each ordered a drink as they had planned, but into each drink a fly did land. The first cowboy turned green at the bug in his drink. To the bartender he said, "I'll have a different one, I think." The second cowboy stopped, slowly fished out the bug, and finally drank the beer with a shrug. But the third cowboy was from Kansas, where times were tough, and he wasn't about to put up with this stuff. He knew this behavior just had to stop, 'cause he came from Kansas, where we don't waste a drop. So the cowboy grabbed the bug and with a big shout held it over the glass and said, "Now you spit that out." Happy trails.
Highways 40, 83, and I-70 come together right here in Oakley. Roads that lead to businesses, to magnificent rock formations, to scenic vistas, to places where legends were made. Roads that lead us home. Discover Oakley, the gateway to western Kansas.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, The Ghost of Christmas Past was always my favorite, and Michelle has some wonderful stories of Christmas past in Kansas to share with us today. Good morning, Michelle, and a very Merry Christmas to you and Don.
Good morning, Deb, and good morning to all our viewers, and a very Merry Christmas to you too. Have you ever wondered how Kansans in the past celebrated Christmas? Today, let's take a photographic look at Kansas Christmas past. With Christmas just 2 days away, let's take a trip back in time to see how Kansans have celebrated. One of my favorite holiday traditions is decorating. Our Kansas ancestors certainly enjoyed turning city streets and homes into holiday showplaces. From Kansas Avenue in Topeka to Massachusetts Street in Lawrence to storefront windows and churches, holiday decorations are a beautiful part of the Kansas Christmas experience. Even butcher shops made their stores festive. Helping others is also a part of the Kansas Christmas spirit. In Topeka after World War I, men gathered donations of food, clothing, and gifts for returning Kansas soldiers. Reminding Christmas gift givers to mail presents to our troops early and buy war bonds as gifts helped the war effort. Women in Topeka volunteered their time at the Veterans Administration Hospital, wrapping gifts for those who could not be home for the holiday. Sending Christmas cards is another way Kansans marked the Christmas season. Amelia Earhart's Christmas cards featured an aviation theme, while others preferred cards with winter scenes to mark the holiday. Much like today, many Kansans relied upon the Postal Service to deliver Christmas packages. The mailmen in Dehoff, Kansas used horse and cart, automobile, and motorcycle to make sure they made their appointed rounds. Christmas is a time to connect with family and friends. For children past and present, the holiday is filled with magic and wonder. The trees, decorations, and gifts may have changed through the years, but the thrill of opening packages on Christmas morning is still with us. Kansas school children marked the holiday with pageants, plays, and programs featuring music and costumes. In Kansas, immigrants from Sweden and Norway brought their own Christmas customs and made them a part of the Kansas experience. Rabbit hunting on Christmas Day and large community gatherings complete with their own version of Santa Claus helped them feel at home in their new country. Not unlike today, businesses promoted their goods for gift giving. Kansas newspapers are filled with ads touting the quality of their Christmas merchandise. Perhaps the most important part of Kansas Christmas celebrations is the time spent with loved ones and friends. While our celebrations may be different this year, we can always look to the past while we hope for better times ahead. I hope you enjoyed today's look at Kansas Christmas past, and that you and your family, your friends and loved ones have a wonderful and joyous Christmas. And I hope you'll join me next time for another historical adventure somewhere around Kansas.
From all of us here at Around Kansas and Farming Unlimited, have a very, very merry and blessed Christmas. I'm Deb Goodrich, and I'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.